We told everybody there would be a chapter 2, right?
Yes.
And as you said,
We don't lie.
we do not lie.
We do not lie.
We keep our word. And let's pick up kind of where we left off.
Okay.
Right? So where we left off, when we were here, again, you invited us into your lovely home, and the pups were there with us as well. We were talking about that next chapter that you were heading into, and that was a pretty big surgery.
Yes. And I had just found out, Crystal, when we were doing that interview, I had just found out days before that the surgery was going to be a lot more extensive than my husband and I ever suspected. We thought the tumor had shrunk so much, this should be easy, and then we found out, no.
Yeah.
To make sure that they get any errant cancer cell that might be thinking about camping out in my body.
So Nancy made the trip to the City of Hope Comprehensive Cancer Center in Duarte, California for the surgery.
They take out a lot of real estate around where the tumor was. Now, the tumor was right at the bottom of my esophagus to the opening of my stomach. So they took out half of my stomach, and they took out about a third of my esophagus, and then they moved the stomach up.
Nancy shared this tender moment with her husband Jim, or as she calls him, her rock, shortly after surgery. The surgery lasted more than 5 hours.
But it was extensive, and it was, the recovery's been pretty brutal. In fact, in the hospital afterwards, I was in the hospital for about close to a week afterwards. There were nights when I woke up, wonderful staff there, and I would cry and think that I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do it. There was too many tubes. I was so uncomfortable. I was in so much pain. And the staff would come in there, and some of them would come in and pray with me. These are nurses. They don't have to do that. But they did. And they just said, just every day, it's going to be a little bit better. Just keep the faith. And they were right. And here we are today.
For about 3 weeks, Nancy stayed at the hospital and at the City of Hope campus before heading home to continue with her recovery.
I was on a feeding tube.
Right.
And I was on the feeding tube for almost 3 weeks. I'm thinking, well, I'm hungry, I'm ready to eat. Well, you don't know how you're healing inside, so they don't let you have even a sip of water.
Now, Nancy can eat most foods, but in smaller portions. In fact, she's had to approach this journey in a similar manner, one small step at a time.
If I can learn it, anybody can, and that is give your body patience and grace, because it's doing the best it can. What I've learned through this, I hope other people can apply to any journey, whether it's a messy divorce, whether it's the loss of a loved one, the loss of a longtime spouse. The healing is healing. Healing is healing. And I happen to have a lot of faith, and that gives me comfort, because I can lay there and go, okay, what are you trying to teach me today?
Right.
Because when I have bad days, I think about that, and then my husband will walk in the room, and I'm like, that's what it is. You're teaching me how blessed I am.
Yeah.
I just keep going back to, you've got to give yourself patience. But I do hope that people can learn a little bit about what I'm going through, no matter what the struggle, whatever the journey, because healing is healing.
And healing isn't just physical. Nancy shared how journaling helped her heal mentally and emotionally.
Facebook was a way for me to journal, but also maybe put something out there that could help somebody else. So I felt like it maybe was helping me and helping other people.
As for what she's taken away from this life-changing experience, she says,
Stop every now and then, even if you're not going through a struggle. Just stop every now and then and think about the good things in your life. That's been big to me. That's been huge.
She also shared,
It's so important for me, for people to not feel alone when they're going through stuff. I know how blessed I am. I just want people to feel like there's always somebody out there that cares. There's always somebody out there that, like I said, I care. Your church probably cares. Your friends probably care more than you think they do. Your family, the support groups, somebody cares. Don't be alone.
and finally,
Be your own advocate. Find yourself a strong advocate. And don't be afraid to leave home if you must to get your procedure done. Lots of good doctors here.
Sure.
But as I said in the last piece, and I want to reiterate it because I went to City of Hope Phoenix for radiology and chemo, and I went to Duarte City of Hope for surgery. because that's what worked for me. It might work for you to stay here. It might work for you to go to UCLA or something, Georgia, Emory, you know, whatever. But do your research and make sure you're advocating for yourself. And if someone needs you to advocate for them, do that too.
I love that. It's a beautiful note to end it on. Okay. Well, we love you.
I love you too. We're not doing a chapter 3 because chapter 3 is life.
That's right. And we're living it.
Yep.
There we go.
Exactly.
Hi there, I'm Crystal Allen. Hope you enjoyed that story. For more great stories about the city of Las Vegas, don't forget to click on that box.